Hello everyone, my name is Shermieko, and in today's video I will be talking about principles of animation. In this video I will be covering 3 topics in relation to principles of animation. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So what is principles of animation? Principles of animation was introduced by Disney animators Ollie Johnston and Frank Thomas in their 1981 book The Illusion of Life, Disney Animation. The principles are based on the work of Disney animators from 1930s onwards in their quest to produce more realistic animations. The main purpose of these principles are to produce an illusion that cartoon characters adhere to the basic laws of physics. The 12 principles of animation: squash and stretch. Using this principle, you can animate different objects such as soft and hard, heavy and light, liquid, dense, and gaseous. This feature can demonstrate the speed, momentum, weight, or even mass of an object. For example, when a ball hits the ground, the force of the motion squashes the ball flat, but because an object needs to maintain its volume, it also widens on impact. Anticipation. In order to make the action more realistic, anticipation principle requires from us to add pre-action to build logical physical sequence. Like in real life, character needs to gain power to jump, run, and do any other action. It's all related to Newton's third law of motion. Energy builds up and follows by release energy into an action. Anticipation can prepare characters for the next action, and it is important to make it look easy and natural. Staging. It means focusing attention on a particular object of your scene. Thus, staging represents consistency, which you can find in most animation, cartoon, graphics, or films. What plays a role here along with logic is camera position, focal length, character, and/or object placement, color grading, actions, and expression themselves. Also, pay attention to the timing, as each action should be done after one is finished. Straight ahead or pose to pose. Pose to pose action suits more animation and is more convenient than straight ahead, as it gives you the control over your animation. You set your keys first so you know where the animation starts, alters, and ends. Then you set the extremes, which allows you to set the radius of your animation. And after that, you can set breakdowns to connect extremes. A straight ahead won't allow you to control the value of your object that clearly, and the last scene is more likely to look unequal to the first scene. Follow through and overlapping action. It stands for part of object that depends on it, so when an object moves first, its details follow through. So the faster the main action is, the larger the follow through will be. It works well with hair, animal tails, clothing objects, etc. These basic principles gives more tangibility to the character or object, allowing it to look real. Ease in and ease out, also referred to as slow in and slow out, is about spacing, which allows you to set your keys not linearly. The object always accelerates and decelerates, both in life and animation. Spacing dictates how objects move. Are they far or are they close? Are they fast or are they slow? And if motion curves are splined, the object changes its moves and speed, but our timing stays the same. You can experiment with the amount of keys you put in order to create the best end result. Secondary action. Secondary action makes your animation richer and more personalized. So if you animate the character, you can show many new details through its movement, like temper or emotion. These acting layers on top of the main action are giving texture and more realism to your animation. But keep in mind that the secondary action shouldn't dominate the primary action. Exaggeration. Exaggeration gives us the unique ability to make things real. Those we can't usually demonstrate in reality. We can minimize unimportant details and maximize those that we want to highlight. It can be movement, emotion, or many other things. Exaggeration exists to convince viewers in things we want them to believe in. Timing. Timing is one of the reasons why motion graphics job can't be taken over by computers. It shouldn't be just natural, but engaging as well. The standard time rate is 24 FPS, and if one drawing is made for each 24 frames per second, it's called drawing on ones. And if one drawing is made for every 2 frames, it's called drawing on twos. Solid drawing. It is applied not just for two-dimensional and traditional animation, as it is important everywhere because it demonstrates forms as part of 3-dimensional space and gives an object qualities like volume, weight, and balance. When drawing an object, we should make sure that the lines are bent towards the vanishing point, not symmetrical. Follow the contour, and also use solid objects. We also need to use perspective line on the ground to show distance, relief, or many other things. Appeal. Appeal doesn't necessarily symbolize something pretty. It firsthand stands for relevance and the idea of its looks. Appeal is all about composition, arcs, and exaggeration. The most working way to add appeal to your objects is to make them all different in shapes, proportions, personality, and simplicity. Arcs. Arcs can be added to almost any figure movement because unlike straight lines, arcs are most attractive to human eye. We achieve this effect by moving the x-axis constant while giving the movement in the y-axis. Linear animation doesn't look natural, that's why it takes audience from actual experience to predictions. Arcs can also visibly take part in animation. When you want to know the exaggeration speed of an object, fill the arcs area with half-transparent color. And that's the end of my video. Thank you for watching and I hope you have a great day. Goodbye.